Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Thursday, November 10th, 2016. Thursday night football is about to get underway. It's the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens, and let me tell you why that's so interesting that it is the primetime game tonight. Earlier today in Washington, D.C., which isn't all that far from Baltimore, the Cleveland Cavaliers went to the White House to be congratulated for winning the NBA Finals on June 19th. Also today, Obama met with President-elect Donald Trump, who had the GOP convention in Cleveland in the same building the Cavs play in. Both the Cavs and Trump met with the president today. Meanwhile, not too far away in Baltimore, the Cleveland Browns are visiting for a primetime game. And they're playing the Baltimore Ravens, who in history were the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns lost their team in the year 96, if I'm not mistaken. They became the Baltimore Ravens. A number of years after that, the Cleveland Browns got their team back. So it's kind of like the Cleveland Browns versus the old Browns in Baltimore this evening. This is no coincidence. This is evidence of what I am saying. Sports are scripted, and they're scripted by the numbers. I want to tell you something else I'm observing here. Today's date, a date with 57 numerology. Again, the Cavs last year won 57 games in the regular season. When you write out 57 as a word in gematria, in case you're new here, the practice of coding numbers into words, 57 sums to the same thing as championship, the same thing as Super Bowl. Important numbers in regards to championships. Last year at the end of the regular season, I was telling people that was another sign the Cavs would be in the NBA Finals and win it this year. The 57 wins in the regular season. Today's date, it also has a numerology of 37. Browns in gematria sums to 37. Could the Browns get a massive upset? They are winless this year. They're heavy underdogs on the road, division rival, 7.5 points. Haven't won a game yet this season. If they win today, they'll be 1-9. Their head coach's birthday was 19 days before today. Something to think about. 19, 1-9. It is a long shot for the Browns to win, but these games are scripted, and they're scripted tributes. This could be a big tribute to Cleveland today. Then again, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll win, and let me make that point right now. Notice that Cleveland Browns in gematria sums to 61. Finals, the word finals in gematria sums to 61. Game 7 of the NBA Finals was on a date with 61 numerology this year. The date the Cleveland Cavaliers won it, King James, LeBron James, they won it on the real King James's birthday. On election night, the Cavs lost their first game of the season. They began 6-0, and then they lost, becoming 6-1, kind of like 61. I'm seeing that in the Cleveland Browns name. If Cleveland wins this football game tonight, understand it's part of a scripted tribute for a larger ritual encompassing the election. If you missed the video I put out, there's so much more to Cleveland, Donald Trump, and Barack Obama. Watch the video. I'll link it in the description. I don't want to explain it all for the people who already watched it. The Ravens and Browns, they've played each other 35 times. This will be the 36th tonight. The Browns have only won 9. The Ravens have won 26. If the Ravens win tonight, it'll be their 27th. If the Browns win, it'll be their 10th win, number 10. Look at that massive score differential. Not only do they lead by a lot, they've been blowing them out often. If you didn't see my video from primetime last year, Browns and Ravens, it was a Monday night football game. Before the game, how I said it was going to come down to the number 33. And everybody who watched that preview video was laughing because the way the game ended was with a blocked field goal, recovered by number 33, who ran it back for the winning touchdown. And the game summed to 33 points. Remember, Cleveland equals 33. The Ravens originally from Cleveland. Cleveland's the only city in the NFL that sums to 33. 33 is the number of the Master Freemason. George Washington, first recognized president, 33rd degree Master Mason, very important number to Freemasonry. To be in the White House, you got to be in the gang, and the gang worldwide in high places is Freemasonry. The last time the Ravens and the Browns played earlier this year, the Ravens won in Cleveland 25-20. Ravens in gematria sums to 25, fitting they win with 25 points. Browns, 20. And if it was 1996 that the Browns went to the Ravens, that was 20 years ago. Maybe tonight's revenge. I could look deeper at this. I'm not even sure that the Browns have ever won at Ravens. I'd like to know their all-time record in Ravens Field. I should have looked that up. You can check that after the video. Like I say, there's always more research to do. I'm trying to get this out before the game starts, because that's only 20 minutes from now. It's been 53 days since they last played, a span of 54 days, 53, number of men on an NFL roster. The Ravens, if they win tonight, they would improve to 5-4. 5-4. Kind of like 54. Big number on Monday Night Football. If you missed my video on Monday Night Football and why Jimmy Graham had those two one-handed baseball catches, it's because the word baseball equals 54 and the man throwing to him, Russell Wilson, former baseball player. These leagues are scripted. They're all tributes. The Seahawks were used twice as tributes to the World Series. We talked about 57 earlier in championships. World Series equals 57. Manager of the Indians was 57 years old, Terry Francona. Theo Epstein won Game 7 57 days before his birthday. And if you missed my video from 2 months before the World Series began, I said why the Cubs would win in Game 7 this year. In spring training, I also said why the Cubs would win. Joe Flacco and gematria, just looking at the two QB names tonight. Cody Kessler for the Browns, Joe Flacco for the Ravens. Joe Flacco sums to 34, fitting. Ravens, 34. Remember, Joe Flacco's full name sums to 83, like the word football. They say the best QB draft class of 83. That was 33 years ago this year. Cody Kessler, this game comes at the midway point of his birthday. He's 23 years old right now. The number 83 is the 23rd prime number. This is coming 183 days after his birthday, 182 days before his next birthday, or a span of 183 days. Football number connects in both those spans. He's the Browns QB. You know, there's some evidence here we might see the upset. There's some numerical alignment for the Browns. They got a prayer. Joe Flacco, his birthday is January 16th. Nothing stands out too much with his birthday in terms of tonight's game. I don't recognize anything, at least. If Joe Flacco lost tonight, it would be his 57th loss all time. He has 89 wins all time, 56 losses. In the regular season, this is going to be his 131st game tonight. He's going for his 80th regular season win or 52nd regular season loss. Remember, when you write out 57, it sums to 131. Potentially tonight in his 131st regular season game, he could get his 57th loss on a date with 57 numerology. And, you know, this game perhaps will be a tribute to last year, the game that ended with 33, with number 33 running it back on the block kick. Cody Kessler never won a game. He's 0-6. If he won tonight, he'd be 1-6. 1-6. What year are we in? 16? When you write out 16 as a word, it sums to 33. The only other number that's that way is the number 90. When you write out 90, it sums to 33. Joe Flacco could also potentially get his 90th win tonight. Cody Kessler 1-6, potentially. Or 0-7. Hugh Jackson, coach of the Browns, named gematria of 35. 44 is the number that stands out to me. Obama's the 44th president, but only the 43rd person to be president. Trump will be the 45th president, but only the 44th person. The word birther in gematria equals 44. Think about Trump, Obama, the word birther in the beginning of Obama's presidency. Trump got national attention for saying there was no proof Obama was born in the U.S. They called it the birther argument. So anyway, Hugh Jackson, he's born October 22nd, 1965. He just turned 51 years old. Cleveland and gematria sums to 33. With the V exception, it's 18 more. 51. He's 51 years old. It's been 19 days since he turned 51. And again, if the Browns win tonight, they'll be 1-9. And they'll get their win against the original Browns franchise. I mean, the symbolism is there. Cleveland in the Oval Office today. Donald Trump conventioning in Cleveland. I checked out John Harbaugh's birthday. He also has something interesting going on. His birthday is New Year's Day on the French Republican calendar, September 23rd. Born in the year 62. Cleveland, Ohio equals 62. So does the word Mason. From his last birthday to today is 48 days. Donald Trump equals 48. Wall equals 48. Donald Trump, Mr. I want to build a wall, announced as the president on the 27-year anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall, when you write it out, sums to 45 in Pythagorean gematria. Trump, the 45th president. His upcoming birthday, Harbaugh, is 317 days from today. That's the 66th prime number, and the reason that stands out is because Baltimore Ravens has gematria of 66. So does NFL. So does the name Harbaugh. And the Ravens have been struggling some tough losses. Tonight, they might start talking about if John Harbaugh is going to get fired if he loses tonight. Then again, he has won a Super Bowl with the team. But losing at home to the Browns in light of what's been going on with their team, they're 4-4 right now, their record. If they lost tonight, they'd fall to 4-5, kind of like 45, the 45th president. But anyway, 317 days, the 66th prime. I've been documenting how when we see these relationships with the coaches, the birthday, numbers relevant to the game, that's been favorable for those teams. So we'll see what it means tonight for John Harbaugh. Tonight I caught it. A lot of nights I've been missing that prime number relationship. To find these prime number relationships, numberempire.com is the website you want to use. Just super simple. You just type in any number and just it instantly hits you with the information you want to know. The coaches tonight, the Browns coach, this will be his 26th career game, special number, the God number, the number that is what the Vesica Piscis, this important symbol, is based on. It's based on 26, the English alphabet, 26 letters, the word God in gematria, 26. The shape of the football is the shape of the Vesica Piscis, which connects to 26. The shape of the Vesica Piscis, the shape of the football, it's also the shape of the womb. It has to do with creation. Ohio is the birthplace of football, American football as we know it. Again, Browns on the road playing the team that was originally the Browns, who are now the Ravens. It's going to be his 10th game. Still doesn't have a win with the Browns yet. Tonight would be the first if he won. Again, they'd become 1-9, 19 days after his 51st birthday. The word federal equals 51, so does the word conspiracy. We're talking about Cleveland in the White House today, by the numbers. Again, that video is linked down below. Harbaugh, this is going to be his 82nd game. In gematria, Barack Hussein Obama sums to 64 like civil rights, but if you use the S exceptions, Barack Hussein Obama sums to 82. 82nd game for Harbaugh tonight. Baltimore, not too far from the nation's capital. Excuse me, it is not his 82nd game tonight. He's either playing for his 82nd win or his 56th loss. The word president also has gematria 56. It's also going to be his 137th game. Again, Washington, D.C. equals 137. Authority, 137. American Meridian, 137. That's what Washington, D.C. sits on. 137 is the 33rd prime number. 33rd prime number. Federal equals 33. Masonry, secrecy, order, voting. Right after the election, Thursday night football. Amazing that it's 137th game. It's amazing the way they line this stuff up. Plus Cleveland 33, and again, the Ravens originally from Cleveland. All time, the Cleveland Browns are 3-5 on Thursday night football. I have the link here if you want to go verify this yourself. They're 3-5 all time. If they won tonight, they'd become 4-5, kind of like 45. We just had the 45th president elected. If they lost, they'd be 3-6. This is the 36th game all time between the Browns and Ravens. The Ravens are currently 5-2. 5-2. Thursday night football, if they lost tonight, they'd be 5-3. If they won, they'd be 6-2. Cleveland, Ohio equals 62. They'd become 6-2 over the team from Cleveland, Ohio. That's an easy narrative to see. Very well could happen. If they lose and become 5-3, remember that King James in Gematria sums to 53. So does the word religion. There's the King James Bible. This year the Cavs won on the real King James birthday. We talked about the distance of 53 days up at the top. 53 days since the last game. Is it possible that 53 days later they're going to become 5-3 on Sunday Night Football? It's certainly possible. We'll see. What I find so fascinating is how tightly these games are scripted when you fully decode them. It shows you this stuff is planned way in advance. I think this is how they control the gambling. Can't say it enough. These teams have also played once before on Thursday Night Football. The score was 16-23. Harbaugh was the coach then. That's a total of 39 points. 39 points. Harbaugh equals 39 in Gematria the small way, 66 the big way like we talked about. It was a date with 41 numerology that day. Baltimore equals 41. Baltimore the big way, 95. Remember Mike Wallace the small way, 41. 95 the big way. He got a 95-yard touchdown this week with the Ravens. He also had one earlier in his career playing with the Steelers against the Ravens. Baltimore and Mike Wallace, 41-95, 95-yard touchdown catches with and against the Ravens. It's all scripted by the numbers. Just because you recognize it's scripted, it doesn't mean you can always forecast the script accurately. Again, I'll make this analogy for people who don't get it. When my picks are wrong, again, it's like when you go to a movie. You know the movie's scripted. You're seeing something that's already been made. It's going to have a planned outcome. So often movies are predictable. You know what's going to happen before the movie's even halfway over. Sometimes a movie will throw you for a loop. And it's the same way in forecasting these games. You know what to look for, but sometimes you can be led astray. The game tonight's at M&T Bank Stadium, Gematria at 40, like TNF for Thursday Night Football. We'll see if it's a big Cleveland tribute. Upset the Ravens. They're negative 7.5 point favorites. Baltimore Ravens, with the S exception, 75. 44.5 points. Again, we're talking about a transition in power at the presidency. The 44th president to the person that will be the 44th person to be president. Ravens, not far from the capital at 4-4. You know what else equals 19? POTUS, the abbreviation for President of the United States. POTUS, 1-9. I don't know what the betting lines are if you're somewhere where you can still get these bets in. But if a little money will earn a lot on the Browns, I think it's worth a risk. Till next time, True Seekers.